Pulled from the final dusty remains of a furniture store liquidation, these twin brass swans feel like artifacts from a more opulent time. Each one weighs a substantial 7.5 ounces, their elegant forms polished by hands long gone. A maker's mark tells us they journeyed here from Spain, measuring roughly 3 by 5 inches, but their function remains a mystery. The swans pivot freely on their base, a graceful, silent rotation, and the back reveals a heavy-duty threaded bolt. Were these simply ornate decorations, or did their strange movements serve a hidden purpose? What you are holding are not mere ornaments, but a set of elegant door handles, likely intended for a grand set of double doors. The heavy brass construction and the threaded post were designed for a lifetime of use, a stark contrast to the hollow, lightweight hardware of today. The swan's neck provided a natural, ergonomic grip. This kind of ornate, sculptural hardware has fallen out of favor, replaced by the minimalist and mass-produced aesthetic of modern design. They are a relic from an era when even the most functional objects were an opportunity for art. It appeared like a vision from another world, a silver leviathan crawling down a sleepy state highway. Flashing lights from a police escort cut through the twilight, clearing the way for this colossal cylinder. It was too massive, too slow for the interstate, its journey a deliberate, public secret. The sheer scale brought whispers of space travel, of rockets being moved under the cover of darkness. But the details didn't quite add up. Was this a lost piece of a forgotten space mission, or was it something else entirely? What you witnessed was not a relic of the space race, but a vital organ of modern industry, a massive industrial pressure vessel. This is a reactor, the heart of an oil refinery or chemical plant, engineered to withstand incredible temperatures and pressures. Inside this silver shell, complex chemical reactions transform raw materials into the fuels and products we use every day. The reason for its slow, strange journey on a state road is a matter of pure logistics. These behemoths are too tall and too heavy for many standard interstate overpasses and bridges. The route is planned for months, a precise logistical ballet to avoid any obstacle, making its transport a rare and impressive public spectacle. Pulled from the forgotten corner of an old kitchen drawer, this artifact has been a family mystery for years. It's carved from a lightweight, dark-stained wood, shaped almost like a miniature torpedo. Faint helical scratches spiral down its length. Are they scars from its secret purpose, or just a clue left by its creator? It feels like a piece from a long-lost game or a forgotten part of a larger machine, yet it gives away no secrets. What was the intended use for this enigmatic wooden pin? What you have discovered is a classic cocktail muddler, a key tool from the golden age of home bartending. Its purpose is simple yet elegant, to gently crush or muddle fruits, herbs, and sugar in the bottom of a glass, releasing their essential oils and flavors for cocktails like the old-fashioned or the mojito. Those scratches are the battle scars from countless encounters with sugar crystals and ice. While still used today, this particular muddler is a ghost of parties past, a relic from a time before pre-made mixers when crafting the perfect drink at home was a respected ritual. Pulled from a simple giveaway bag at a PetSmart grand opening, this small plastic artifact seems utterly out of place. It measures barely an inch long, a hollow, bone-white piece of molded plastic with a curious slit running down its side. It's feather-light, almost insignificant, yet its precise shape suggests it's not just a random scrap. It feels like a key without a lock, a component disconnected from its machine. What purpose could this strange little object possibly serve? What you are holding is a clever piece of modern engineering, a phone charger strain reliever. Its purpose is to solve a very common, very frustrating problem, the fraying of delicate charging cables. You simply snap this plastic guardian onto the end of your cord, right where it joins the plug. It absorbs the stress from sharp bends, preventing the internal wires from splitting and failing. These became almost essential for users of certain smartphones, particularly Apple products from the last decade, whose cables were infamous for their fragility. It's a simple fix for a flaw born from modern design. Pulled from the forgotten collection of a basement, this strange plastic cylinder feels like a relic from a Cold War laboratory. A clear tube rises from a solid brown base, and inside, a small indicator floats, poised between cryptic lines marked min, opt, and max. The only clues to its origin are a few small holes in the bottom and a faded stamp that seems to read Louis. A lost sticker confirmed its origin, made in West Germany, placing it firmly in a world that no longer exists. What forgotten system was this precise measuring device a part of? What you have discovered is a water level indicator, a key component for early home hydroponic systems popular in the 1970s and 80s. This simple but ingenious device was placed directly into the planter's reservoir. As water was added, the internal float would rise, its position against the min, opt, and max lines, giving the gardener a perfect visual cue. These German-made indicators were built to last, a testament to an era of durable, analog tools. While modern hydroponic setups often use integrated digital sensors or cheaper disposable plastics, this elegant design represents a time when even simple gardening tools were engineered with precision. These two black plastic fragments came with an old knife, a puzzle with no solution. Each is barely an inch long, with intricate shapes that suggest they should lock together into a single hole. But when you try, they resist, jamming halfway as if guarding a secret. They feel modern, yet their purpose is a complete mystery, two orphaned pieces separated from their history. What forgotten mechanism do these strange little components belong to? What you are holding are the support pieces for a knife display stand. The clue to their origin is molded directly into the plastic. The characters Qianzieji, the mark of the manufacturer Qianye. These aren't a puzzle, but the humble legs of a stand designed to present the knife. Their true purpose was lost simply because they were separated from the main object. This is a classic case of a critical component being forgotten. While the steel blade was preserved, its simple plastic throne was tossed aside, its function vanishing as soon as it became detached. Pulled from a dusty bin in a rural Pennsylvania thrift shop, this curious artifact landed in a white elephant exchange, its true purpose a complete mystery. Forged from heavy cast iron, it measures about 5 inches long. The brand name Wolverine is stamped into the metal, a clue from a forgotten industrial age. One end splits into a strange, sloped fork, while the other features a precise, cross-shaped gap, as if designed to turn a specific, lost lock. What forgotten mechanism did this iron key unlock? What you're holding is a specialized tool of the plumbing trade, a Wolverine brand drain wrench, also known as a basket strainer key. Its design is pure, focused genius. The cross-shaped head fits perfectly into the strainer grate inside a kitchen or bathroom sink. The forked end isn't a fork at all, it's a handle designed to be turned with a screwdriver or another bar for maximum leverage, allowing a plumber to lock down a drain with immense force. This is a relic from a time when tools were single-purpose and indestructible. Modern plumbing now often uses plastic parts, and multi-tools have replaced these specialized heavy iron implements in many toolboxes. Uncovered from the depths of a moving box, nestled amongst forgotten office supplies, lies this strange plastic puzzle. A set of unassuming white trays, each one identical to the last. They feel light, almost disposable, yet they snap together with a satisfying, precise click, forming a rigid, grid-like panel. Its stark, utilitarian design offers no clues to its origin, making it seem like a component for a long-discarded piece of furniture or some obscure office organizing system. What mundane secret does this modular plastic grid conceal? What you have discovered is a classic case of a part separated from its whole. This is a distance panel for the ubiquitous IKEA PAX corner wardrobe system. These panels are ingeniously designed to snap together, creating a custom-sized spacer. Their purpose is simple but critical. They fill the awkward gap that often forms between the corner wardrobe and the wall, allowing the door to open fully without scraping paint or plaster. Thousands of these are likely discarded or misplaced during moves, becoming plastic enigmas found in junk drawers years later, their simple but essential function completely forgotten. It stands like a silent green sentinel on an otherwise ordinary suburban street. Too small to be a house, too ornate for a simple shed. It has a curious door with a small window, a tall, slender chimney, and a strange chute or container accessible only from the top. It seems utterly out of place, a miniature industrial building dropped into a quiet neighborhood. What purpose could this strange little structure possibly serve? What you have discovered is a classic German Altkleider container, a public collection bin for used clothing and shoes. This isn't just a metal box, it's a piece of civic architecture designed to blend into the community. Citizens deposit bags of old textiles through the top chute, which is designed to prevent theft and protect the contents from rain. The chimney is actually a ventilation pipe to keep the clothing from getting musty. While donation bins exist worldwide, these specific house-like designs are a hallmark of Germany's highly organized public recycling and social support systems, turning a simple utility into a neighborhood fixture. They've become less common in some newer developments, replaced by more generic metal containers, but remain a symbol of a uniquely German approach to community responsibility. This curious silver artifact was discovered in a dusty corner of an antique shop, a gleaming riddle forged in metal. It measures roughly 2¼ by 2¼ inches, with a 3/4 inch gap separating its two elegantly curved sides. It's surprisingly heavy for its size, yet it has no bottom, no hinges, and no obvious mechanism. It seems designed to hold something with precision, but what could fit within its polished embrace? What secret did this piece of forgotten silverware once keep at the dinner table? What you are holding is a forgotten piece of dining etiquette, a vintage napkin ring. This is a relic from an era when every meal was an event designed to hold a crisply rolled linen napkin. Its function was beautifully simple. The weight of the silver and the tension of the fabric were all that was needed to keep the napkin perfectly presented. These rings were common in formal dining settings from the late 19th through the mid-20th century. However, as lifestyles quickened and the disposable paper napkin gained popularity, the daily ritual of formal dining faded, and these beautiful objects were relegated to the back of the china cabinet, their purpose lost to a more convenient, less elegant age. This handsome wooden case, its brass clasp tarnished by the patient hand of time, was discovered in a dusty corner of an estate sale. Inside, nestled against worn velvet, sit 4 identical ceramic cups. They are far too small for a sip of coffee and too shallow for any kind of spice. The whole set has an air of deliberate ceremony, like a kit for some forgotten daily ritual. What purpose could this strange, formal collection possibly serve? What you have discovered is a classic teabag caddy, a charming relic from the mid-20th century. This wasn't a tool, but an instrument of hospitality. Each ceramic cup was meant to hold and display a different variety of teabag, allowing a host to present their guests with a choice in a much more elegant fashion than a simple cardboard box. As households became less formal and convenience culture took hold, these beautiful presentation boxes faded into obscurity, replaced by the torn open cartons we use today. It's a small reminder of a time when even serving tea was an art form. Pulled from a dusty corner of a demolition site, this heavy steel relic feels like it was forged for a giant. The design is all business, a long, rotating handle for leverage, and 2 strange feet that swivel with surprising freedom. A small metal shim, tethered by a braided steel cable, hangs like a clue to its forgotten function. It's too specialized to be a simple wrench, too robust for a common clamp. What heavy-duty job required such a peculiar instrument? What you have discovered is an Ellis Shore jack wrench, a specialized key for manipulating immense weight. This tool was designed to adjust the massive steel shoring jacks that temporarily support buildings and trenches during construction. The swiveling feet grip the jack's collar, and the long handle provides the leverage needed to raise or lower a structure weighing tons. That tethered shim is a safety pin, used to lock the jack in place once adjusted. While still used by specialists, the rise of integrated hydraulic systems means you'll rarely see this master of manual leverage outside of a heavy construction site, a ghost of a more hands-on era. This peculiar wooden device was found tucked away with ordinary kitchen supplies, a puzzle from a forgotten time. When opened, it measures roughly 12 by 9 inches, with 2 slotted flaps that can be adjusted. An engraving, curiously etched upside down, only deepens the mystery. The construction feels too delicate to bear any real weight, yet the series of precise, thin slots suggests a very specific purpose. What was this strange contraption designed to guide? You have discovered a bread-cutting guide, a clever helper from an age of home baking. A fresh loaf would be placed between the adjustable sides, and those perfectly spaced slots would guide a long bread knife, ensuring every single slice was uniform. These were common in kitchens before the widespread availability of commercially sliced bread in the mid-20th century. As the convenience of the plastic-wrapped loaf took over, this elegant tool for the home baker slowly vanished from the countertop, a victim of modern efficiency. Pulled from the darkness of a forgotten photographer's studio, this object feels like a lost piece of scientific art. It's a heavy assembly of polished metal with a large, gleaming lens at its heart. A curious dial, marked with precise, almost cryptic numbers, suggests a purpose far beyond a simple camera. The craftsmanship is undeniable, built for an era when precision was measured in steel and brass, not pixels. What secrets did this intricate device once capture? What you are holding is a remarkable piece of photographic history, a Douthit diaphragm control paired with a legendary Carl Zeiss Gina lens. This wasn't just for taking pictures, it was a high-precision instrument for the graphic arts and printing industries of the early 20th century. The dial allowed a master photographer to manually and precisely control the lens aperture, or iris, during an exposure, a critical step for creating perfect printing plates. This level of manual control was the gold standard for quality. However, the digital revolution and automated exposure systems made these beautiful mechanical marvels obsolete, replacing the hands-on craft with the cold efficiency of a microchip. Pulled from a dusty box of forgotten computer components, this plastic disc is a modern-day riddle. It measures precisely 72 millimeters across, its surface marked with two cryptic arrows, and the single commanding word, top. Two slots, sized for M4 screws, suggest a need for perfect vertical and horizontal alignment. But for what? It feels utterly out of place among the circuit boards and heat sinks, a simple analog cipher in a digital world. What specialized component is this, and what purpose did it serve? What you have discovered is not a piece of high-tech computer hardware, but a deceptively simple mounting bracket for an IKEA wall or desk lamp. This humble circle is a key piece of Scandinavian design, allowing a lamp to be securely fastened to a wall. The arrows guide the lamp's base to slide and lock into place, creating a clean, seamless look. These mounts are often separated from the products they belong to, becoming anonymous plastic orphans in junk drawers and spare parts bins. Their specific, clever function becomes a complete mystery once they are removed from their original context, a common fate for the small but essential pieces of our flat-pack world. This small plastic artifact, measuring about 3 inches, was discovered rattling around inside an old Breville kitchen whiz, a ghost from a forgotten culinary past. Its shape is strange, almost skeletal, with delicate fins that suggest high-speed rotation. The current owners swear it belongs to no other machine, a puzzle piece without a home, a part without a purpose. Does anyone recognize this forgotten piece of kitchen engineering? What you are holding is the whisk attachment, specifically designed for a Breville BFP100 mini kitchen whiz. This deceptively simple piece was engineered to click onto the main drive shaft, transforming the powerful food processor into a delicate whisk for aerating creams and egg whites. These small, model-specific attachments are often the first casualties of time. They are easily misplaced, separated from their parent machine, and when the main appliance is eventually upgraded, they become useless plastic relics, a forgotten hero of desserts past, rendered obsolete by the simple act of being lost in a drawer. It appeared from nowhere, lurking in the back of a kitchen drawer like a misplaced clue. The handle is a dense, squishy foam, but at its heart, it feels solid and unyielding. One end is capped with a cold, unforgiving metal tip. The real mystery, however, lies in the small red plastic piece. Pry it loose, and it reveals a razor-sharp blade, hidden away from the world. What possible purpose could a kitchen tool have for a hidden blade and a metal striker? Does anyone recognize this strange device? What you have discovered is not a kitchen gadget, but a modern automotive safety and assistance tool. Its primary function is a portable grab handle. The metal tip is designed to slot into the U-shaped latch on a car's doorframe, providing a sturdy, non-slip grip for anyone who needs assistance getting out of a vehicle. but in an emergency, it transforms into a lifesaver. The concealed razor is a seatbelt cutter, and the hardened metal point is a window breaker, designed to shatter glass in a critical moment. It's a silent guardian that lives in the glove box, a piece of life-saving engineering hidden in plain sight. Found tucked away in the shadows of a Caribbean hotel room, this tiny electronic object is barely 1 inch long. Its black plastic casing is nondescript, but a small, dark lens gives it the sinister appearance of a spy camera. It was discovered on a ledge under a table, pointing at nothing but wood grain and dust. A hidden sentry guarding no secrets. What was this miniature device designed to capture? What you have discovered is not a camera, but something far more common. A Bluetooth camera trigger. This is a remote shutter, a simple accessory for any modern smartphone. It allows someone to set up their phone from a distance and snap a picture with a simple click, perfect for group photos or vacation selfies without a timer. Its hidden location isn't a sign of espionage. It was most likely dropped and forgotten by a previous guest. Instead of a sinister surveillance tool, it's a casualty of convenience, a piece of technology so small it was simply lost and left behind. A small handful of polished metal slugs, discovered without a home. They have a satisfying heft, cold and dense in the palm of your hand. At first glance, they might be mistaken for some kind of specialized battery, but there are no markings, no voltage indicators, just smooth, inscrutable steel. They feel like a component from a larger, missing machine. What forgotten device did these precision machine pieces belong to? What you have discovered are tuning weights for a high-end gaming mouse. This is a secret weapon for digital athletes. These small ingots are placed into a special cartridge inside the mouse, allowing the user to minutely adjust its balance and total weight. A heavier mouse provides stability for steady aiming, while a lighter one allows for faster, more reflexive movements. This feature is a hallmark of professional-grade equipment, and since most people use standard, non-adjustable hardware, these tiny counterweights remain a complete enigma to anyone outside the competitive gaming world. Uncovered in a bag of miscellaneous hardware, these 4 identical plastic discs present a modern riddle. Each one is precisely 30 millimeters in diameter and 6 millimeters high, smooth and featureless. They feel mass-produced, disposable, yet their uniform nature suggests they were made for a specific task. They are the kind of object you might find left over after assembling furniture, destined to be forgotten in a drawer. What purpose could these 4 simple plastic tokens possibly serve? What you have discovered are spacers for a television wall mount, a humble but crucial component of modern living. Their function is to create a uniform gap between the back of a TV and the mounting bracket. This is essential for televisions with curved backs or recessed mounting holes, ensuring the bracket sits flush and secure without damaging the screen's casing. They also provide vital space for ventilation and cable management. These spacers become invisible the moment they are installed, which is why they are so frequently found but so rarely identified, a forgotten piece of the very technology we look at every day. It arrived like a coded message, wrapped by itself amongst a box of Christmas presents. Crafted from a soft, cool metal, this peculiar device fits in the palm of your hand. A knurled dial at the top meticulously screws a central shaft up and down, and a strange point at the base seems designed to fit into a very specific, unknown hole. It doesn't match any other tool in the set. It's an outlier, a mechanical orphan. What strange purpose was this pocket-sized gadget designed for? What you are holding is a compact mini-tool, a relic from the era of novelty mail-order gadgets. This little device was marketed as a jack-of-all-trades for your keychain. The pointed tip often served as a scribe or an awl for piercing small holes, while other variations included tiny screwdriver bits or even a bottle opener. It's a clever, all-in-one design in theory. However, these tools faded into obscurity because they were ultimately a gimmick. They tried to do everything but excelled at nothing, quickly replaced by more robust and truly functional multi-tools from brands like Leatherman and Victorinox. It's a curious piece of a time when convenience was king, even if the quality wasn't. This formidable steel cylinder, stretching nearly 1 meter long and weighing a solid 25 kilograms, speaks of forgotten industrial power. Its polished surface is cold to the touch, but the real mystery lies at its ends. 2 massive, intricate coils, that look like something out of a science fiction film from the 1950s. They are flawlessly engineered, yet their function is a complete enigma. What forgotten process required this strange marriage of heat and motion? What you are holding is a heated roller, a critical component from a large-scale manufacturing machine. Those coils are not for magnetism, they are enormous slip rings designed for a single, brilliant purpose: to feed a powerful electrical current to internal heating elements while the entire cylinder was spinning at high speed. This turned the roller into a continuously hot, moving press, essential for processes like finishing textiles or drying paper. While incredibly robust, these direct contact heating systems were eventually phased out in favor of more modern, energy-efficient technologies, leaving this industrial workhorse as a silent monument to a past era of manufacturing. Unearthed from the cluttered aisles of an antique store, this strange wooden object stands about 3.5 feet tall. It has the simple, sturdy base of a stool, but where one might expect a seat, a single solitary post reaches for the ceiling. The wood is worn smooth, darkened by age and countless hands, a silent testament to a purpose now lost to memory. It feels like a piece of a larger puzzle, a tool waiting for a task. What was this curious stand built to hold? What you have discovered is a classic yarn and string spool holder, a humble but essential tool from the age of homecraft. The mechanism was pure simplicity. A large spool of yarn or butcher's twine would be placed over the central post, allowing it to spin freely and dispense its contents without tangling. For decades, these stands were the silent partners of knitters, weavers, and shopkeepers. They began to disappear from homes in the mid-20th century as mass-produced, smaller balls of yarn and convenient plastic dispensers replaced the need for these sturdy, floor-standing wooden workhorses, trading lasting utility for disposable ease. Found lurking inside a nightstand drawer in a New York City hotel, this strange device feels like a prop from an old spy film. A thick plastic tray, molded with a perfect grid of circles, lies beneath a cold metal grate. A wire snakes from the back, disappearing into the shadows of the wall. The fixture itself is about 3 feet tall, yet this 10-inch drawer is its only accessible feature. There are no switches, no lights, no instructions, just a silent, waiting mechanism. What was this automated contraption designed to do in the dark? What you have discovered is a ghost of hospitality past, the automated, weight-censored minibar. Each circle in that grid once held a can or bottle, resting on a delicate sensor. The instant an item was lifted for more than a few seconds, a charge was automatically sent to your room bill. This technology, which boomed in the 1990s, was designed to eliminate the honor system, but created a customer service nightmare. The sensors were notoriously faulty, charging guests for simply bumping the nightstand or rearranging items. Plagued by endless billing disputes, most hotels ripped them out, replacing this flawed vision of the future with simple, empty refrigerators. In the heart of a 1955 handyman, Special sits an architectural riddle. Next to the brick fireplace is a cavernous void, a deep space that seems far too large for a simple stack of logs. The real mystery, however, is a small hatch on the back wall, an opening that leads directly to the outside world. It feels out of place, a deliberate design choice whose purpose has been clouded by the decades. What forgotten function did this strange pass-through serve? What you are looking at is a forgotten piece of mid-century convenience, a built-in firewood pass-through or wood box. The ingenuity was in its simplicity. Firewood could be loaded directly into the compartment from outside the house, saving the owner from tracking snow, mud, and insects through the living room. It was a clever back-saving feature from an era when wood-burning fireplaces were a primary source of heat. As central heating became standard and fireplaces turned more decorative, these practical built-in solutions vanished, deemed an unnecessary expense and a potential source of drafts in modern airtight homes. Pulled from the back of a dusty barn, this strange copper vessel holds its secrets close. It has the warm, weathered patina of a century of use, with a curious funnel-shaped outlet on top, pierced by a single small hole. A sealed cap on the side hints at a chamber meant to be filled, while 2 heavy pins suggest it was once mounted in a hidden apparatus. It feels like something from an alchemist's lab or a smuggler's hideout. What forbidden concoction was brewed within these copper walls? What you have discovered is a classic copper pot still, the heart of any small batch distillery and the signature tool of the moonshiner. The process was simple but ingenious. A fermented mash of fruit or grain was poured in and heated from below. As the alcohol vaporized, it rose and passed through the top spout into a coiled tube, where it would cool and condense back into a potent liquid. These stills, often used for making spirits like grappa or whiskey, were common in rural areas, but have largely vanished. Modern, large-scale distilleries and strict regulations on home distilling made these beautiful, handcrafted tools a relic of a more rebellious and resourceful era. Pulled from a mundane pile of dish rags, this object feels anything but ordinary. It's a simple loop, a continuous band of a strange microfiber material, soft, yet with an almost industrial texture. It doesn't seem designed for scrubbing pots or wiping counters. Its sleeve-like shape suggests it was meant to fit over something. But what? Was this just some glorified specialized cleaning tool, or does it hide a more clever purpose? What you have discovered is a reusable static remover, a forgotten solution to a common laundry problem. This clever sleeve was designed to be tossed directly into a clothes dryer. As it tumbled amongst the wet clothes, its unique microfiber weave would physically absorb and dissipate the static electricity generated by friction, preventing cling without chemicals. This elegant, buy-it-for-life tool was rendered nearly obsolete by the rise of disposable scented dryer sheets in the latter half of the 20th century. Convenience won out, and this simple piece of textile engineering was largely forgotten, a casualty of the shift towards single-use products. Discovered in the shadowed corner of a closet in an old Florida home, this strange formation clings to the ceiling like a secret. It's a solid mass, roughly 2 to 3 inches across, and firm when prodded from a safe distance. Its amber-like appearance seems almost alien, a frozen drip suspended in time. It's an unnerving sight, a small, silent mystery hanging just overhead. Is this some bizarre fungal growth, a geological oddity, or something else entirely? What you are looking at is not a biological specimen, but a ghost of the forest, locked within the house itself. This is a classic pine tar drip. In older homes, especially in warm climates, builders used raw, resinous pine boards for construction. Over many decades, the Florida heat slowly liquefies the natural tar within the wood, causing it to seep through knots and cracks. Gravity does the rest, pulling it into these hardened, stalactite-like forms. This phenomenon has become rare as modern construction shifted to kiln-dried lumber and engineered materials, which don't have this resinous quality. It's a natural time capsule from an era when houses breathed and bled with the wood they were made from. For 18 years, this single stoic bolt has been a silent resident of this kitchen wall. The tile was meticulously cut around it, a clear sign that whatever it once held was deemed essential. It's a heavy-duty piece of hardware, frozen in time, an enigma that has never been turned or tightened. It stands as a solitary anchor, its original purpose erased by decades of repainting and renovation. What forgotten machine once depended on this single, unyielding point? This is not just a bolt, it's a ghost from the age of domestic engineering. You are looking at the mounting point for a wall-mounted laundry mangle, a common fixture in homes from the 1920s through the 1950s. A heavy cast-iron wringer with 2 powerful rollers would have been anchored here, allowing someone to hand-crank wet clothes through it to squeeze out every last drop of water. The invention of the automatic washing machine and its spin cycle rendered this manual workhorse completely obsolete. The mangle is long gone, but the bolt remains, too deeply set to remove without destroying the wall, a permanent scar from a bygone era of household labor. It appeared overnight, a silent sentinel bolted to an unassuming lamppost on the corner. These gleaming white boxes, in strange, panel-like arrays, stared down at the street, their purpose shrouded in secrecy. There was no announcement, no warning, just the sudden arrival of this new, sterile hardware. It feels cold, almost clinical, watching over the neighborhood with an unseen purpose. What invisible network is being woven into the very fabric of our city streets? What you are witnessing is the frontier of modern communication, a 5G small cell radio unit, possibly manufactured by a company like Comba Telecom. Unlike the colossal cell towers of the past, these are low-power nodes designed to create a dense, high-speed data web right at street level. They fill coverage gaps and handle the immense data demands of our hyper-connected world. The era of the distant, towering antenna is giving way to this discrete, localized infrastructure, a necessary evolution to power the next generation of technology. It's the invisible becoming visible, a quiet revolution happening right above our heads. Found on a second-hand laundry bag, this detail seems to defy all logic. It's a solid rectangle of fabric, sewn flush against the mesh. Each of its 4 sides is stitched down tight, creating a sealed space with no opening, no pocket, and no access to the inside. It's not a repair. The bag itself is intact. It's a deliberate blank feature on an otherwise utilitarian object. Why would someone add a pocket you can't use? This is not a pocket. It's a canvas for identity. You have found a nameplate panel, a feature once essential in institutional settings like military barracks, boarding schools, and summer camps. In a world where dozens of identical bags were washed together, this stark rectangle was where a recruit or student would permanently write or stamp their name. Its purpose was to bring order to chaos. These panels have all but vanished from modern laundry bags, made obsolete by a shift away from communal living and mass-produced uniformity. It's a small relic from a time when your name, written in bold ink, was the only thing that made your belongings truly yours. Pulled from a toolbox on a modern sailing catamaran, this small object feels more like a surgical instrument than a tool. It's crafted from gleaming, marine-grade stainless steel, precisely 58 millimeters long and weighing a solid 2 ounces. Every curve is perfectly smooth and symmetrical, yet it bears no maker's mark, as if its purpose was a secret. Its most curious feature is the square head, designed to lock perfectly into the chuck of a power drill. What critical function did this single, mysterious piece of steel perform out on the open ocean? What you have discovered is a manual pin for a foresail furler, a vital piece of emergency equipment made by the sailing hardware company Facnor. On a large sailboat, the foresail is rolled up using electric or hydraulic systems. If that power fails in a storm, a sailor is in grave danger. This pin is their lifeline. It's inserted into a port on the furling drum, allowing a common power drill to become a manual winch, providing the leverage needed to tame the massive sail. This isn't a tool you'd use every day, which is why it's so mysterious. It's a brilliant, purely mechanical backup that remains hidden until modern technology fails at the worst possible moment. Sealed shut by layers of paint, this heavy metal hatch is a silent sentinel on a basement cinder block wall. The inscription is faded, the letters worn by time, but they seem to whisper a name: Smith Matthews Foundry Company. It's been sealed for decades, its secrets locked away behind a coat of ignorance. Whatever it was built to contain has long been forgotten, leaving only a cryptic door leading to the unknown. What forgotten purpose did this strange fixture serve? This is not a gateway to a hidden vault, but a forgotten piece of household convenience, a fireplace ash dump clean-out door. It was made by the Smith Matthews Foundry Company, a firm known for its durable cast iron works in the early 20th century. The design was ingenious. Homeowners could simply sweep ashes from the fireplace hearth above, letting them fall down a chute into a pit in the basement. This door provided the access to shovel out the collected ash for disposal. As central heating replaced wood-burning fireplaces and home designs changed, these simple, robust systems became obsolete, relics of an era when homes were built around the warmth of a central hearth. It arrived in a box of gleaming steel, a brand new metal food grinder. But among the sharp, precisely cut grinder plates, there was this one anomaly: a solid, black, plastic die. It has no holes, no blades, no obvious function. It slides into place perfectly, yet it seems designed to block the very process it's a part of. A dead end in a machine built for motion. What is the secret purpose of this lone plastic part in a world of steel? This is the sausage stuffer plate, a critical component whose function is the complete opposite of its metal brethren. While the other plates are designed to grind and mince, this plastic disc acts as a solid backstop. It allows the grinder's auger to work like a piston, pushing the pre-ground meat mixture smoothly into the sausage casing attachment without further shredding it. The reason it's so mysterious is that its simple, solid design is easily overlooked in the manual, yet it is the essential bridge that turns a powerful grinder into a precision stuffer. Unearthed from the depths of a dusty, forgotten toolbox, this weathered steel artifact carries a cryptic inscription, Locker Brick. Barely 4 inches long, it has the solid, purposeful feel of a serious instrument, not just a simple nail or fastener. Its sharp point and flattened head suggest it was made to be struck with force, a relic from an age of manual labor. What secret did the masons of the past entrust to this simple piece of steel? You have discovered a classic mason's line pin, an anchor for precision. A bricklayer would hammer this pin into a fresh mortar joint, pull a string taut to another pin at the far end of the wall, and create a perfectly straight guide for the next course of bricks. This simple tool guaranteed that every line was level and true. While modern laser levels have replaced much of this manual work, the Locker Brick name tells a story. It was likely a promotional tool given by a brick company, a badge of honor for the skilled tradesmen who built our cities, one perfect line at a time. Pulled from a dusty box of forgotten kitchenware, this slender glass implement feels cool and delicate to the touch. It measures about 6 inches long, with a curious, double-ended design. One side is perfectly flat, the other gently curved, a detail that hints at a purpose far more specific than a simple rod. It's an elegant tool from a time when even the smallest objects had a thoughtful design. What secret was this glass artifact crafted to perform? What you have discovered is a classic glass swizzle stick, also known as a stir stick, designed for coffee or tea. This wasn't just for stirring, it was a multi-tool for your morning ritual. The flat side was ingeniously designed for pressing a teabag against the side of a cup or for muddling a sugar cube without a spoon. The curved end allowed for a gentle stir that wouldn't damage delicate porcelain. These glass tools vanished as the world embraced speed and disposability. Cheap, mass-produced plastic stirrers and metal spoons made this reusable, carefully crafted object a relic of a quieter, more deliberate time. They've begun appearing all over Florida, posted like silent sentinels every mile along the sun-bleached roads. Each one is a featureless, barrel-shaped device, perched atop a stark metal pole, observing the world below. Their clean, modern design gives them an almost unnerving presence, sparking whispers of advanced surveillance or some secret government project tracking every movement. They have no markings, no logos, just an impassive form aimed at the city. What is the true purpose of these mysterious objects multiplying across our urban landscape? What you are witnessing is the visible infrastructure of our hyper-connected world, a 5G small cell antenna. These nodes are the backbone of the next-generation cellular network. Unlike the colossal towers of the 4G era that covered vast distances, 5G technology uses higher frequencies that deliver lightning-fast speeds but have a much shorter range. To create a seamless web of coverage, providers must install these smaller, denser antennas throughout cities. So, while it may feel like you're being watched, this device isn't tracking you. It's simply trying to keep up with society's insatiable demand for data, rendering the old, distant cell towers insufficient for the modern digital age. Uncovered in a century-old colonial home in Merida, Yucatan, this strange piece of furniture seems to hold a forgotten purpose. It stands low to the ground, about 3 feet by 3 feet, with the heavy, ornate presence of a treasured antique. But this is no mere coffee table. Built into its core is a metal basin, clearly designed to hold burning coals, surrounded by implements whose original use is now a mystery. It's an artifact that whispers a story of a different way of life. What secret is held within this combination of fine furniture and primitive furnace? What you have discovered is a classic Spanish colonial brazier table, known as a brasero. This wasn't just furniture, it was the central heart of a room before modern heating. Families would place hot coals from the kitchen hearth into the central basin, and the radiant heat would warm the space and the feet of those gathered around it on a cool evening. These elegant heaters became obsolete with the arrival of safer cast iron stoves and eventually central heating systems, which eliminated the risk of open embers and carbon monoxide in the living space. Technology provided a more efficient alternative, leaving these beautiful, functional relics behind. Discovered on the cold asphalt beneath a Jeep Compass, this small plastic artifact seems out of place. It's just 4 inches of molded mystery, lightweight yet intricately designed, with gears and sockets that suggest a precise function. It feels like a clue left at the scene of a mechanical crime, a missing piece to a puzzle you didn't even know existed. What vital function did this small component serve? What you have discovered is a headlight adjuster module, a small but critical component in modern automotive design. The delicate gears on this device precisely angle the vehicle's headlight beam, ensuring the road is illuminated without blinding oncoming traffic. These modules are a perfect example of modern manufacturing. Once made of sturdy metal, they are now almost universally plastic to save weight and cost. Unfortunately, this makes them brittle and susceptible to breaking from road vibrations or minor impacts, a common reason they're found lying forgotten on the garage floor. Spotted rumbling down US 69 in Oklahoma, this mechanical behemoth dwarfs everything in its path. It's a city block of engineered steel, a labyrinth of pipes and enormous fan blades, all shrouded in a thick coat of industrial gray paint. At a glance, it looks like a colossal air conditioning unit, maybe for a skyscraper or a massive data center. But out here, on the open road, headed towards the oil fields, its true purpose is a complete mystery. What industrial secret is being transported down this lonely highway? What you are witnessing is a critical piece of our hidden industrial backbone, known as an air-cooled heat exchanger. This is not for cooling people. It's for cooling the powerful engines and high-pressure compressed gas that fuel the oil and gas industry. Think of it as a gigantic radiator. As hot gas or liquid is pumped through its network of pipes, those massive fans force ambient air across them, dissipating heat on an immense scale. These units are the unsung heroes of energy production, operating far from public view, which is why seeing one in transit is such a rare and imposing sight. It appeared as if from nowhere, a cryptic artifact of thin yellow plastic discovered in the aftermath of a canine caper. This thing is impossibly light, almost fragile to the touch, with strange curves and notches that hint at a forgotten function. Found alone on a couch, with no other clues in sight, its origins are a complete blank, a puzzle that doesn't belong. What strange little device materialized from thin air, only to meet its end in the jaws of a family pet? What you are holding are the remains of a retail accessory hanger, a ghost of modern commerce. These flimsy plastic forms are designed for a single, fleeting purpose, to perfectly display a scarf, belt, or pair of socks on a store rack. Once you bring the item home, their job is done, and they are almost universally discarded without a second thought. They are the invisible workhorses of the fashion industry, a symbol of the disposable packaging that became widespread in the late 20th century. It didn't vanish due to new technology. It was designed to vanish from your life the moment you left the store. They arrived without a whisper, 5 identical plastic artifacts tucked inside the packaging of a new headlamp. Each one is a small, cryptic hook, the round part measuring just 3/8 of an inch. There were no instructions, no diagrams on the box, just these silent, weightless objects. Their deliberate inclusion suggests a specific purpose, a small but vital role in some unknown operation. What secret do these 5 plastic enigmas hold? What you have discovered are hard hat clips, an essential accessory for any modern tradesperson. This is a brilliant, simple solution to a frustrating problem: headlamp straps slipping off the slick surface of a safety helmet. The clips hook directly onto the brim, creating secure anchor points that hold the elastic strap firmly in place. Their mystery isn't one of age, but of modern packaging. In an era of cost-cutting and QR codes, the simple paper instruction sheet has vanished, turning a perfectly designed tool into a puzzling riddle straight out of the box. This unassuming piece of plastic, measuring just about 4 inches long, arrived in the mail not with a catalog of tools, but with a letter pleading for donations to an animal shelter. It's deceptively simple, yet it holds 2 small double-sided blades, sharp enough to give one pause. It feels too specific, too purpose-built to be a mere trinket. A strange juxtaposition of charity and cold, sharp steel. What is this strange little slicer sent in the guise of goodwill? What you are holding is a modern promotional tool, a simple yet brilliant box opener. The genius is in the safety-first design. The recessed blades are engineered to slice through packing tape and cardboard with precision, while keeping your fingers safe from harm. This tool hasn't vanished. Quite the opposite. It became a marketing staple because it's cheap to produce and incredibly useful. In an age dominated by online shopping, charities and companies send these out, knowing they'll land in a kitchen drawer, a constant, useful reminder of their brand every time a package arrives. It's the modern, more practical replacement for the classic letter opener. Found inside an ordinary water bottle, this collection of tiny spheres feels impossibly heavy, a mere 16 ounces, weighing close to 10 pounds. Each pellet is hard, metallic, and coated in a fine, shimmering bronze dust that clings to everything. On close inspection, a faint, almost imperceptible line circles each one, like a tiny equator. They feel manufactured, precise, yet their purpose is a complete mystery. What is this strange, heavy material, and why was it being stored like this? What you are holding is modern, high-performance shotgun shot, likely made of bismuth or tungsten. The telltale sign is the faint seam you noticed. That's a mold line from a process where powdered metal is heated and pressed to form the pellet. This is very different from traditional lead shot, which was made by dropping molten metal from a tall tower to form perfect, seamless spheres. The reason this advanced shot exists is a story of environmental protection. In the late 20th century, lead shot was banned for waterfowl hunting in many countries due to its toxicity. This forced the creation of non-toxic alternatives like bismuth, making your find a direct result of a shift from a cheap, dangerous classic to a safer, modern innovation. It clings to the side of a kitchen cupboard, a ghostly gray panel hiding in plain sight. Its frame is thin and unassuming, and the surface is unnervingly smooth, reflecting the kitchen lights like a placid gray lake. There are no markings, no brand names, just this silent, empty rectangle. It seems placed with intention, yet its function is a complete mystery. What message was this strange slate designed to hold? What you have discovered is a modern relic of household communication, a magnetic dry erase board. Its purpose was simple, yet vital, to be the central hub for family notes, grocery lists, and reminders before the digital age took over. The smooth, non-porous surface allowed special markers to write and erase with ease, a cleaner evolution from the dusty chalkboards of the past. These boards, popularized in the latter half of the 20th century, were once the command center of the home. Now, in an era of smartphone alerts and shared digital calendars, this physical message board has become a phantom, a silent testament to a time when household management required a pen, not a password. A small purple loop of soft silicone arriving unannounced in a pharmacy delivery. It feels flexible, almost like a piece of jewelry, with a small slot allowing it to lock into a circle. But here's the puzzle. The loop it forms is impossibly small, far too tiny for any adult wrist, perhaps only fitting a toddler. It was found alongside a bottle of Advil, yet it shares none of its sterile medical design. What purpose could this curious little device possibly serve? What you have discovered is a wonderfully clever piece of modern accessibility design, a removable bottle cap grip. This silicone loop is made to be stretched over the difficult, child-proof lid of a medicine bottle. It provides the crucial extra leverage and grip that allows someone with arthritis or limited hand strength to open it with minimal effort. Its genius is that it isn't permanent. Unlike dedicated, easy-open caps that can pose a danger to children, this tool offers help on demand and can be removed, perfectly balancing the conflicting needs of accessibility and household safety. Discovered in a forgotten beach house drawer, this curious contraption feels both modern and oddly primitive. A length of flexible tubing, almost like a lifeline, encases a thin, strong rope. One end terminates in a sturdy Velcro loop designed to wrap around something securely. The other end, however, is a simple, thick string loop, protected by a small plastic tube. The whole thing feels purposeful, yet its function is a complete riddle. What forgotten activity required this strange tether? What you are holding is a classic tether for a boogie board, an essential lifeline for any wave rider. The mechanism is simple but ingenious. The Velcro strap fastens securely around your wrist, while the string loop is tied to a plug on the board itself. This ensures that when you wipe out, your board isn't lost to the surf. While these haven't vanished, their design marks a specific era. Early leashes were simple, straight cords like this one, born from pure necessity in the 1970s. Modern versions now use coiled polyurethane to reduce drag, making this simpler design a nostalgic relic from the dawn of bodyboarding. Discovered buried deep within the carpets of a car once owned by an elderly couple, this tiny artifact whispers a forgotten story. It measures barely 2 inches long, a delicate steel filament wrapped in a tight spring. The needle itself is impossibly fine, more flexible than any sewing tool, yet solid to the core. It feels like a precision instrument, a tool for a delicate, lost art. What secret purpose did this tiny spring-loaded needle serve? What you are holding is a disposable acupuncture needle, a tool with roots in ancient medicine. The spring acts as a handle, giving a practitioner precise control as they place the needle to relieve pain or treat ailments. But this ancient design has found a surprising second life in the modern world. Today, these exact needles are prized by 3D printing enthusiasts for the frustrating task of unclogging incredibly fine, superheated printer nozzles. This single object lives a double life, a tool for healing the body and a tool for fixing the machines of the future. Spotted thundering down a motorway in the United Kingdom, this colossal yellow machine looks like something from a science fiction film. It's a mechanical behemoth, chained to the back of a truck, its complex arms and powerful clamps hinting at some incredible specialized purpose. It's clearly built for heavy lifting, a titan of industry on its way to an unknown job site. What secret project requires such a specialized piece of heavy machinery? This is a titan of the real world called a TRT, or track rail transposer. It's a purpose-built marvel of engineering designed for one critical job in the rail industry: lifting and moving massive sections of steel rail. Its powerful hydraulic arms can grip and reposition tracks with surgical precision. The reason this machine is such a mystery is that its work takes place away from public view, often at night when the railway lines are quiet. It's not a forgotten relic, but a modern, specialized workhorse, one of the hidden giants that keeps our world moving. Found amidst the festive chaos of wrapping paper, this tiny plastic artifact, barely 2 centimeters long, seems strangely out of place. Housed within its simple casing is a sharp, precise metal needle, like a miniature surgical tool. It doesn't belong to any of the gifts it was found with. Not the purse, not the scarf, nothing. It feels like a component, a piece of a larger puzzle that is nowhere to be found. What purpose could this tiny, sharp object possibly serve? What you have discovered is the humble but essential cap pin for a tube of superglue, or cyanoacrylate adhesive. This is a perfect example of functional disposable design. The sharp metal point is engineered to do one thing perfectly: clear the nozzle of hardened glue that would otherwise render the entire tube useless. It likely fell off the packaging of one of the presents during its journey from the factory. While not ancient, it tells a story of modern convenience, a tool so small and single-purpose that we barely notice it exists until it mysteriously appears, an orphan of manufacturing. What was the weirdest object for you? Let me know in the comments and share this to test your friends. If you love uncovering these mysteries, hit like and subscribe. Your support helps us find more curious explorers like you. Stay curious.